Okay, and again I'll just dump this into a bag that I can throw in the garbage, not down the sink. Carbon's easier to clean because the pieces are larger, not fine little particles. Okay, so now that I've cleaned out the carbon reactor, put this on. Again, I'll put a bit of tape on the end so I don't want the media going down. So I use, this time I'm using Kent reef carbon for marines. You can see the particles are larger and they're not finely ground. And that's the kind I like, so that it doesn't go through the media chamber. It stays in it. It doesn't go through the filters, I mean. So that's all I have. Unfortunately, I would add a little bit more, probably fill it about halfway, but it doesn't have to be. So now, take off my tape again. And this one doesn't need the carbon. The cotton just needs that filter because it's bigger again. Put that up. Screw it on. Take it off. Again, I don't like dumping stuff down my sink unless I can, if I can prevent it. So I will put that down there. Save this for the next time. And put this container in the recycling. Okay. This one. So now I've cleaned out and refilled both my chambers. I will reconnect them. Again, my inline goes into the center so the water can go down, and then it'll come up and fill up the chamber. When the chamber's full, it'll come out this tube and go down and into the system. But first I want to flush out and clean out all this dust that is in there into this bucket. So I've closed off the main lines and opened up the drain lines, and I'll turn the pump back on, and you'll see the chambers filling. So you can see all the particles going up, and I have them drained into a bucket. So you can see that bucket's full of dark black dust and fine pieces of media that I don't want going into my aquarium. So I drained it into the bucket, and I'll do it a few times. Usually the carbon comes clean quickly. You can see here the carbon looks clean, but the phosphate remover is still dirty. So we'll let that bucket fill up. So I use the Rowa Phos. Really happy with this product. I think it's great. I've tried a few other products. None of them have worked as good as this one has for me. The reason you want to use a phosphate remover is phosphate is basically the food that supplies algae. So if you're trying to prevent microalgae from growing in your tank, you should use a phosphate remover. That will really help fight the algae problems that you're having in your aquarium. Okay? So once this bucket sits full, I'll turn off the pump again. I'll let it drain a little bit. And I'll turn it, close them, so I can take the bucket away. So I've emptied that bucket, and I'll do it once again. Open up the lines, and turn the pump back on. You can see I get a burst in there again, and see, without this extra filter media in there, I would have a lot more particles constantly. Every time I turn off my pump and turn it back on, I would have a lot. You can see a lot of particles floating around there, or there are a lot. I'm not sure if you can see them or not. So I'll just let that drain again. And the carbon has a little bit in there, but it's not too bad. The reason you want to use activated carbon is because it helps keep the water cleaner. Here it takes the yellow out of your water, if you have any. Because activated carbon can remove a lot of different impurities and clean up your water so that the light can penetrate better down to your corals. You're paying a lot of money for these bulbs, and you want as much light penetration as possible, so it's best to have your water as clean as possible. Okay, so now the carbon looks like it's pretty clean, so I'll close it and open it into the main line, so that carbon now is running to the main line. The Rowa still looks like it's a little dirty. It's not too bad, so I'm going to close it because I'm running low on water in this, and open it into the main line, and that's it. I'm done. So I've changed my carbon reactor and my phosphate reactor. I do recommend you using both of these. You don't have to necessarily have a reactors like I have. You can use canister filters and put them in bags. That will work. So you find whatever you like. I just hooked up this system. I found this system works really good. Easy for changing. Okay? I'll see you next time on Rob's Aquarium Tips.